Hello, I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at All Things Social Security and Joy Disability Law. Your video is about to start. I just wanted to remind you that if you click the join button below, you can learn more about the memberships offered at a very affordable price that can give you a little more direct attorney answers to your questions. Have a great day and enjoy the video. Hey, so with regard to a recent video share with the cautionary information that senior couples need to understand about Social Security and one benefit amount per person. So when one passes, it can be a very rude awakening to lose one of those income sources. Anyway, a really nice viewer had brought up the situation where in his late 50s and on disability, has a spouse who was not a big, not the breadwinner, I guess, during the lifetime. And oftentimes that's the case. Sometimes one is more taking care of the kids or whatever, or just disparate incomes. One might have a skilled job, one not. Anyway, the concern was, and I want to alleviate anyone who is concerned about this because there's no need to be. He was not sure if, because he never made it to retirement, does that mean if he passes, his wife, flip the genders, it doesn't matter, folks, would not be able to get a retirement benefit off of him since he never made it to retirement? No, no, no. That is definitely not so, and no need to worry. Even if he hadn't collected disability and just passed away, she will have, generally a spousal retirement to draw off of later. Now, the fact that he, and just as an add-on here, the fact that he did collect disability and didn't just go years without income, but not filing or collecting disability, and then just later on collecting his retirement, or passing away right before retirement. He has preserved his amount. He's frozen it in time. It would not shrink due to the fact that he probably isn't going to work the last 10 years that he would have worked if he did not become disabled. You know how I've talked about this elsewhere. If we don't work our full 35 or maybe the first 10 are like minimum wage, and then we got, higher skills and higher pay, which is kind of how it's supposed to work. If we stop working for whatever reason, but including if we are disabled, but we don't file or don't prevail on a claim, we are now changing the history of our work record to be something other than what the SSA estimated when it gave you your last earning statement. So if all those years were presumed to have been continuing earning the amount of yearly earnings that you were earning this most recent year you worked, they're presuming that's going to go on until you're 62. If you don't, that whole estimate they gave you is now down the tubes. It's not going to apply because it's taking the presumption that you're going to keep working. So now that you've stopped working, it's going to change all those calculations because those top 35 years are going to be the last, say, 10 are no longer going to be those rock star years that were worked into your calculation because they no longer exist. They never happened. So your calculation is going to be a shrunken retirement benefit unless you file for and achieve Social Security disability. That will nip that in the bud, and those 0 years won't count. This is especially painful for someone who becomes disabled when they're young, like 30 or 40, because they don't have 35 years at all, not to mention strong years. So they literally could be seeing a povertized retirement benefit by the time they become 60, whatever, and start collecting because of that. So it's really, really important to file for Social Security disability if you become disabled and you're insured for it. And don't do that delaying business where your DLI runs out and you now have one shot at the apple, one bite of the apple, and you have to rely on old evidence from when your DLI still existed, when you were in insured status mode. You can't make up the past. You can't throw a bunch of diagnostics in there that you never did get. You can't throw in a bunch of specialist appointments that you never went to. So when you know, I'm just going to drill this home, when you know that you are, severely impaired and if you're breathing down 7, 8 months of not having work because of it, or you have to go to very part-time and you're under SGA. There are videos on SGA, but this year it's $1,550. This is 2024, $1,550 per month. That's gross before taxes and deductions. If you have dropped below that or stopped working and it's because of medical problems, and you are hopefully, robustly treating for them, taking them very seriously, you really want to confer with somebody about whether you should file. In all likelihood, you should, unless you're very sure you're going to recover. It's like a temporary thing. And there are some impairments like that. God bless, thank God. But for many, many people, that's not the case. So it never hurts to check out those options. And remember also that if you are 17 months out from what would have been your alleged onset date of disability, whether it's because you stopped working or you were working below SGA, after 17 months, if you haven't filed, you are forever giving up those back months of benefits, the original months. And every month that you continue thereafter, they're scrolling off the board of captivity also. So you snooze, you lose. Just don't do it. Just reach out, Any of us will give you our thoughts on that, I think. My colleagues, certainly myself, doesn't mean we're necessarily going to take your case, but, it's very easy to get an evaluation and even if someone doesn't take your case, it's not necessarily because it doesn't mean you shouldn't file. It just means that they don't have the space for perhaps your vocational profile, perhaps they're full, that compartment is full, and they try to keep a balance, whatever the case may be. But don't snooze, okay? All right, bye now. Whoops. Hey, what are you doing here? Oh, there's another one attached? I guess there's another one attached. All right, stay tuned. See you guys later. Hi. All right, so we talked about withdrawing an application for Social Security retirement benefits, whether it's early retirement or standard age, normal retirement, or after, and the limitations of that in terms of the time frame, and the fact that you have to pay it all back if you're going to withdraw. There is another option, and this is important because sometimes it's been more than a year that someone's been collecting, and they cannot then withdraw the application and reverse all that's been done. There's something called suspension. You can suspend your benefits, and it will give you the benefit of not having taken them for that month. So and this only applies to people who are of full retirement age. So this is not going to save somebody who's at early retirement age still, filed their application, didn't withdraw it in the time frame permitted, and see that video if you don't know what that is. They're going to have to wait to full retirement if they want to then suspend their benefits at that time. And the benefit of doing so, if they so desired, was to gain those delayed credits by deferring retirement to a later date. And the benefit of the credits is that our benefit amount goes up, and it's several percent per year that we delay. So it can be huge. I mean, you can go up 50%, you can go up 80% feasibly. So suspension, you have to be a full retirement age to do it. And basically they stop paying your benefits. And when they pay it at a later date, when you finally want to lift that suspension or reach age 70, you're going to have that much bigger amount to collect every month. So it gives you a more comfortable monthly income because you forewent those few years. Obviously, not everybody can do it. Some people in their late 60s will need to have their retirement because they don't have sufficient savings or other retirement accounts to draw from, or they're not working or not working. So suspension, you have to wait to full retirement age to do it, but it is a consolation prize to those who failed to withdraw when they realized that they really didn't want to keep collecting early retirement. It is something that you can do. There is a third option I'll go into on a different video for early retirement folks who regret filing early and really want to see their benefit jump up later. They regret having nipped that in the bud. We'll get into that. It's about the earnings test and earning more than you're allowed. So while you're not allowed, it can be a backdoor avenue to curbing your early retirement and collecting a greater amount later. Okay. And that's my phone. So I got to go. Take care. Bye.